Hasty or Jeff Wilson Jr. make the 53? Man, that's a tough one. I don't know. Hasty keeps making plays. He dropped a deep pass today. Jeff Wilson Jr. is a better goal line back. I'm going to go with Jeff Wilson Jr. just because they need that goal line back. I don't know. It just seems like Jeff Wilson Jr. does what Coleman does. Hasty does what McKinnon does. So if McKinnon's playing well, you don't necessarily need Hasty. Maybe you hide him on your practice squad. I'm thinking this through. But Coleman, if Coleman's been reduced to the third running back on your depth chart, maybe 4 carries a game, you don't need to pay him $5 million a season. That's a waste of money. If it's going to be 4 carries a game, then just take Jeff Wilson Jr. He's better in short yardage. He's a better receiver. He's younger and cheaper. So I still think I would go with Jeff Wilson Jr. because of he's unique in this offense. He is the short yardage dude that Tevin Coleman wishes he was. You were sure yesterday that it would be Wilson over Hasty. Look, Hasty played well today. He dropped that pass, but he had this run between the tackles where he made a safety miss and the safety fell down and the whole team was like, oh. So that means the rookie undrafted running back just got the respect of 79 other NFL players. Jeff Wilson Jr. hasn't had an oh moment yet. And I value that because that means you've just impressed your peers. Now, Jeff Wilson Jr. has proved himself in games. He's had game-winning touchdowns. He's had good catches in Super Bowl. It's going to be tough, but I think what the Niners have going for him is no one's seen Hasty. There's been no clips from practice, no preseason games. If the Niners cut him and try to put him on practice squad, what team is going to sign him to their 53-man roster, having never seen him in a preseason game or an NFL game? I mean, they scouted him at Baylor, or wherever he went. Baylor, right? They scouted him in college, but no other team felt that he was worth a draft pick. So what's changed? Are they reading my practice reports? Do they take my reports that to heart? That they're like, oh, well, Grant likes JaMycal Hasty. We got to get him. I guess we were wrong. No, I think they can put Hasty on the practice squad despite the positive press he's garnered and keep Jeff Wilson Jr. Because look, despite what I say about Jeff Wilson Jr., how much ink he gets in camp, people have seen Jeff Wilson Jr. They saw him in the Super Bowl. He's a hell of a receiver. And even though he doesn't have the breakaway speed that Shanahan wants all of his running backs to have, Coleman doesn't have it either. He's a really good receiver. Like Dwelly. Dwelly doesn't have breakaway speed, but he's a hell of a receiver. He's got that wiggle. So does Jeff Wilson Jr. So I just don't see how you get rid of him.